Tech. I'm doing a follow-up video to my Apple Watch SE unboxing, and right now I'm just gonna give you pretty much the pros and cons of having the SE over like maybe a Series 3 or even the Series 6. I'm gonna tell you the things that I like. It's not gonna be more so a comparison because I don't have the Series 6, but I can give you experience like if you're upgrading from a Series 3 or older. I can give you the ins and outs on what you might like, what you might dislike. One thing that I do like is I like the fact that the Series 3, I had the 42, it was kind of big, but the screen wasn't that big. Now this one kind of addresses that because it makes the form factor smaller and the screen still remains about the same size, so I really like that. Another thing that I like about this is if you buy a Series 3, because they still sell them currently, you only could get silver and space gray. And as far as these, you can get the gold as well, like with the newer SE model, and it doesn't really cost that much more. It's about $80 more than the starting price of a Series 3. Another thing that I really like about it is the processor in it is a lot faster. I believe that this is the Apple Watch Series 5's processor in it, which is like a little bit higher spec Series 4. Nonetheless, it's faster, a lot faster than a Series 3 or older. Now the Series 3 isn't bad, it's just you can notice you can notice that the processor is kind of outdated, just like when you're booting it up or you're giving it an update and stuff. Like when I first set this one up, it took a matter of minutes before I was able to pair it and everything and got connected to my phone. As far as like the Series 3, it took, I don't know, I put it down and just, come back to it whenever it's done. But this one's a lot faster. Another thing that I really like about the SE is the fact that it gives you new watch faces. And you get the same watch faces. You share watch faces with the Series 6, and you would have the ones that came out for the Series 5, 4, 3.
I'm sorry, I can't.
And so on and so forth. Sorry, I said series and my watch thinks I said Siri. So yeah, you get a lot of watch faces. Like you get like for instance, I'm rocking I don't know if you guys can see that, I'm rocking the Animoji watch face, which is new to the Series 6 and the SE. If you got a Series 5 or Series 3 or 4, you're probably not gonna have that. So another good addition is the watch faces, and another thing is you gotta always on altimeter, so you always know what elevation you are. And another thing that I do like that it's not new to the newer Apple Watches, but like I said, if you're looking at this watch, you're probably coming from a Series 3 or later. But another cool feature that I like is I work in a loud environment, and it has what is it actually called? It measures the noise and it notifies you and lets you know that there's too much. Like if it's kind of loud, it'll tell you like if you keep staying at this volume, like in this environment for 30 minutes, it could cause loss of hearing. So that's pretty cool feature. It lets you know that the environment around you is pretty loud and that could damage your hearing. So that's a pretty cool thing. And it also has fall detection. In case you fall and you can't contact anybody, it'll contact people for you. So that's pretty cool as well. The Series 3 doesn't have that. And yeah, so I mean, my experience with this watch, it's I'm pretty much at home because I had the Series 3, and it just upgrades on small things that you didn't really think you needed, but are nice to have. You know what I'm saying? Like a faster chip. Like if you had a Series 3, you don't really realize how slow it is until you get a newer watch. But yeah, so it pretty much just improves your day-to-day use with the watch, and I really like that. Now, everything isn't perfect with it, and I'm not gonna say this is a fair apples to apples, comparison to the Series 3, because I had the 42mm Series 3, so bigger watch, bigger battery, but just based off of the chip, it should optimize the battery a little bit better. One thing I can say is with my Series 3, I can get through 2 days without charging it. Like I wear it throughout the day, and I typically start my day at like 8 o'clock, and I usually end my night around 10, and I'll take it off and I'll still have enough charge. Like if I go to my girlfriend's house, and I don't always carry like my watch charger, I typically could get through the next day without having to charge it until about 10 o'clock at night, put it on the charger, and it still won't be completely dead. Now this watch, I know this is the 40mm, so it's a little smaller than the 42 that I had, but the battery life, in my opinion, just from what I remember, like it's not really that. It's not like it'll get you through a full day easily, but you're not getting a second day out of this. Probably around lunchtime the next day, you're gonna be needing to charge this up, and that's one thing I don't like about it, because now it kind of keeps me like if I'm gonna be out, I know I gotta pack that charger, versus if I knew I was gonna be out all night, I didn't have to pack a charger, because I knew I charged it in the morning, I take it off the charger, I got 100%, I can get through 2 days, you know what I'm saying, and get back to my 3-in-1 wireless charging stand that I have at home. So that's one thing I don't like about it. I can't even really say I don't like it, but it's in comparison to like the Series 6, Series 5, this has a lot less sensors. Now, me personally, I can't say I don't like it, but is this something that could be a deal breaker to some people if like you're more athletic or more health conscious? You know, it does have less features as far as health goes. Like it doesn't have the blood oximeter or whatever, however you say it. But it can't check your blood, the oxygen levels in your blood. It also doesn't have, it still has your heartbeat sensor, of course, like the Series 3 did. So it does have those sensors, but it just doesn't do nearly as much as the Series 6 as far as health goes. Like, what is it? The ECG reader for your heart, it doesn't have that in here. But it does tell you that, you know, if your heart rate's increased too high and too low, but it doesn't have the ECG. So can't check stuff like that. It does have good like water resistance, so you can go swimming with it and stuff. I wouldn't recommend getting in the shower. I don't think Apple does either, because the jet streams of like the shower could get in here and bypass the water integrity that it has, like the waterproof integrity. I'm sorry. And yeah, so can't shower with it. And another thing that I did notice that I didn't like was I thought maybe they would have improved on this from the Series 3, because I protected this watch. I was a little bit more careless with my Series 3, but I had some scratches on the screen, not too deep, but they're noticeable scratches for me when I'm looking at it. And yeah, they didn't really improve on like the integrity of the glass, because this thing has a couple scratches on it, and I promise you I can't even remember bumping into anything, or because I mean it's on my wrist, I would remember hitting it against something. I don't remember touching anything, and I got a couple micro scratches on here that are kind of like, they're not really micro, they're kind of in there. You can feel it if you run your nail across it. It's not enough to damage the screen or cause an interruption on what I'm viewing, but it is something to note. Like the screen, the glass isn't as strong. I'm not sure what the Series 6 is. It's probably the same stuff, so I doubt we're gonna have any improvement there. But one thing I can say is I think they should improve the glass on these watches, because you know they're already rounded, so they're kind of, you know, more susceptible to scratches and damage because there's nothing protecting it. So, and I'm not one of them people that like wearing like a clear protective case or anything on it, because I feel like it just takes away from the look of the watch. But yeah, that's another thing I don't like. And if there was one last thing, I'd say, like, it doesn't really bother me, but because I didn't have it on my old watch, but I'm sorry, it's kind of hot in here, I'm getting a little sweaty. But one thing I could say that I don't really care for as much on this watch, that I kind of wish like the newer watches like the Series 5 and the Series 6 has it, would be the always-on display. Because I'm coming from a Galaxy Gear S3, and it had the always-on display, and you know it dimmed and it changed the color of the face of whatever you had, but it'll still show like what time is it. And sometimes like the raise to wake feature doesn't always, you know, it doesn't always work. I mean, it's kind of hit or miss depending on what angle you're raising your wrist at, and it just it's kind of an extra step in order to see what time is it. And you know, that could be a little bit of a burden sometimes. It's nothing too crazy, but it's just something to note. Like if you care about those features, then you're probably going to want to get not the SE. You're probably going to want to get the Series 6 or the Series 5, because those are the only two watches that Apple has made with the always-on display. But yeah, besides that, it's been about 3 weeks since I had this watch, and besides that, I really like this watch. I know there's some drawbacks to it from getting the higher end one, but with them drawbacks, you're saving a lot of money. Like I believe this watch is $279 to start, and $330, I want to say, for the LTE version, in case you want to make this a standalone device where you could leave leave it at the house. And they also have it where you can do the family setup. So if you got like an older grandma or granddad who doesn't have maybe an iPhone, they just have maybe an old flip phone, you know, like my granddad had one of those for a while, or an Android phone or something like that, and you want to make sure that you can stay in touch with them at all times, and also have those fall detection features and stuff for the elderly, and being able to reach somebody who doesn't always have an iPhone. You can get the LTE versions for about $330 and add the $10 connected device to your phone bill, and then they pretty much got a cell phone. Especially like for kids, if you don't trust them with having a phone, $330 is way different than a $700, $800 iPhone. So it's a lot cheaper. You can just go ahead and pay it. Or, I mean, if you have an Apple Card, you don't even have to pay it off immediately. They'll give you 24-month financing. And you can get that and add it to your bill, and now your kid has a means of communication to where they don't have the full access of, you know, the internet and everything. They could just play with the emojis, or they could call and text people off the watch, but they can't like access like internet browsers and stuff like that. And, you know what the internet is like. But yeah, so it's pretty cool for that. And like I said, it's really cheap, $330 versus if you get the LTE version of the Series 4, the Series 6. Series 6 starts off at about $399, and if you want the LTE version, it's about $500. So you're saving like $170 difference, you know, just choosing between this, especially if you're not going to use the ECG and the blood oximeter and stuff like that. It's not going to make a difference. So you might as well get the cheaper watch, because I know a lot of people who they want the Series 6 just because it's the named one, but the SE has a great value to it. And like I said, if you're not really a gym rat or someone who has health issues, go ahead and opt to get, you know, the SE, because it's gonna work for you. And I have nothing negative to say about this. Maybe if I had the 44 millimeter, my battery would last 2 days. So like I said, I can't really give a good, you know, apples to apples comparison for the battery life. But I'm pretty sure I can get 2 days out of the 44 because the battery's gonna be bigger. But other than that, I'm okay with that, because I'm not one of them people that try to like get through 2 days without charging like my AirPods and I do sometimes skip a day charging my AirPods, but like my phone I charge every night, and my watch. I mean, the solution to me having a watch that was getting low every day was just take the charger to my girlfriend's house, and that solved my issue. So yeah, with that being said, that's gonna be the end of my review. It's a quick little, you know, pros and cons of having an SE over like maybe a Series 3 or a Series 6, maybe even a Series 5. So yeah, that's it. And like, comment, and subscribe. I do have a few videos coming up this following week. They're gonna be on the Apple iPad Air 4, and it's gonna be a comparison with the iPad Pro. And yeah, and maybe even a Magic Keyboard review, and you know, stuff like that. So just tune in. And I'm also in that video, I'm gonna announce a giveaway. You know, so yeah, just make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and tune into the next video.